Gaining phase week 15. So this week's weekly average weight is 75.5 kilos. So that's a 0.1 kilo gain from last week. This week's weekly average steps are 12,354. All training sessions completed this week. So training adherence at 100%. No sleep, stress, hunger, fatigue, or lethargy issues. Feeling much better this week. I've got a meal out next Saturday, which I will be adjusting my calories for. But apart from that, everything is good for this week. Good morning. All right, this week's check-in complete. This week has been a really funny week in terms of my weight. I'd probably say this month in general, I've not been hitting the target rate of weight gain for the weekly basis. Now, I must discuss this every week and say that when you're looking at gaining weight, it's more the monthly weight gain target that's important rather than the weekly. But equally at the same time, I don't want to leave it till the end of the month before I increase calories when I know, especially coaching myself, that if I need to increase calories. So I have already gone up to 3,100 calories this month. I've now upped it the last couple of days to 3,250 calories. It is getting to the point where it is feeling like a lot of food volume. Don't feel sorry for me, especially if you're dieting. Dieting's way harder. I'm not going to complain about eating too much food. Very selfish. But yeah, it's been a funny one in terms of weight gain. I'd also say this month has been difficult. Obviously been having a bit of burnout and stuff like that. But this week I've felt a lot better. And I think it's from what I did actually last weekend. And that's kind of what I want to talk about now and go through a little bit. It's motivation. Last week was the first week where I've had a real dip in motivation for probably that last 7 months. Now, it's important to state that I'm not always motivated, and you can't just rely on motivation and be motivated for you to actually follow your diet or training, because half the time I'm not motivated. But I'm going to talk you through the things that help keep me consistent, and I'm going to go through how you should probably reframe motivation a little bit and stuff like that, because I think it'll really help people out. Because I've had a couple of clients recently, and actually one of my good friends who lives in Dubai at the moment reach out this week just saying struggling with motivation and what to do. And I'm going to go through the 5 things that I think are really important for motivation and kind of what I went back to last weekend. So last weekend is the first weekend where I've missed a training session, didn't track my nutrition for 2 days. I was just completely burnt out, and I knew there's one of these 5 things was kind of off, and I needed to discover which one it was and why. Reset, and I'm feeling way better this week. Back on top of my training, back on top of my nutrition, and everything's going really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through those 5 things, and I think the first one is the most important one. When I discovered this about 1.5 years ago, this changed everything for me. Not just training or diet, but just like work and everything. Once I understood this thing, so I want to go through these 5 things for you because I think these will help you out. I usually do like what I'm doing for the day and stuff like that. Today's Saturday. All I've got planned is I'm going to go to the gym later, and I'm planning my Thailand trip because next month it's one of my best friend's wedding in Thailand, and I've still not booked my accommodation, so I need to get that done ASAP. All right, so we'll go through to the other room and we'll go through the 5 things that I think people need for motivation. Again, with this, before I do it as well, look, I don't have a kid. I'm not caring for anyone. So I'm not a parent, I'm not a carer. What I'm saying here is very just what works for me. And it is very subjective. If you're watching this and you're a parent and a carer, like, hats off to you, especially if you're managing to train and do other things as well, because I can't imagine the amount of stress and stuff that you must be under trying to, manage your own training and lifestyle and diet and stuff and doing that as well. So there's nothing more condescending, I think, at times when you hear a personal trainer or an online coach talking about we all have 24 hours, the same 24 hours in the day and stuff, because it's not true. It's not. If you're a parent or a carer or whatever your unique situation is, it's unique to you. So all I'll say to everyone watching this today is apply what I like to call like the if, then, and adjust principle. If what I'm saying works for you, then do it. If it doesn't, try and adjust it. So don't just see these as like, well, I can't do that, so it's not going to apply to me. Some of the stuff here, and I think the first thing in particular, has been a real game changer for me over the last year. So that is why I want to share that with you. So hopefully it'll help with your motivation. Okay, so number 1, the most important thing I think for motivation is, and you'll have heard this a million times, and so did I, and it wasn't until about 1.5 years ago I actually understood it. And it was a series of questions that helped me understand it. So when you hear me say this now, don't just roll your eyes and think, I've heard this a million times, I know what it is, because you need to dig deeper. So it's understanding what your why is. Why is it you train? Why is it you diet? Why is it you want to get into shape? Why? But it's actually getting beneath the surface level answer of that. So when you ask most people, why do you want to get in shape? Or why do you want to diet? I want to be more confident. I want to feel confident with my t-shirt off. That is a very surface level answer. Okay, there is much more layers and understanding to that. And when you can understand and know these layers, that is when you are going to unlock your biggest motivator for why you train, diet, or whatever it is you do. So the way to unlock and find that answer is by doing something called the 5 whys. And I'll post the link to the website that I was doing the journaling exercise on in the description so that you can go and access it and do it. Now, what I would rather you do is pause this video, go complete the 5 whys before I give you my answer, because I don't want to give you my answer. I don't want it to become your answer. This needs to be personal to you, so don't use my answer, but I will give you my answer because I'll explain how the questions work. So imagine you now want to come on as an online client of mine. So I say to you, okay, why is it you've reached out? Why is it you want to get into incredible shape? And you say to me, well, because I want to look and feel confident on the beach with my shirt off. Okay, why? Why is that important to you? Well, because when I go there, I don't want to feel embarrassed in front of my partner, or it might be another answer like that. Then when you give me that answer, I would ask why again. And then you would give me an answer, and then I would ask why again. And then finally you'll ask why for the 5th time. So it's actually called the 5 whys. So basically the first answer you give, that's the first why. And until you get to that 5th why is when you will get your deep and meaningful answer. Now for me, the reason why I thought I always wanted to be in shape was to look and feel my best, and obviously, be a living example of what I speak to my clients. But after doing the 5 whys exercise, I actually realized the reason why I like to train, work out, look after my diet is because I have better control of all the outcomes in my life when I'm looking, feeling, and performing at my best. So what does that mean? Well, if you're watching this, hopefully you'll experience this in your life, but when you're nailing your training and when your diet is absolutely on point and you are in a good routine and you look your best, everything in your life just seems to be better. I would much rather get bad news. Well, I'd rather not get bad news, but if I'm going to get bad news of any sort, I'd rather be looking my best, feeling my best, looking after myself in a really good routine with things. I also feel that I work my best when I'm looking after myself as well. So it gives me better controls of the outcomes in my life. And when I'm not on top of my training and when I'm not on top of my diet and when my sleep's poor, I often don't feel great as well. And that's when I'm likely to start getting a bit angry or a bit sad about things or a bit frustrated. And then I stop being as good a partner, as good a son, as good as online coach, whatever it is, all these different roles I play. But when I'm looking after myself, that is when I'm my best across the board. And that's when I feel my best as well. So once I discovered that, then all of a sudden, when I'm a little bit down about something or I'm a little bit frustrated, well, I can look back at my week and I'm like, right, okay, well, yeah, this might have happened or whatever might have happened. But am I on top of my diet? Am I on top of my training? And often I'm not. So when if I know that, okay, I've had some bad news, it sucks, it hurts, it's not great. But if I'm taking care of myself, if I'm doing these things, it's going to be received better than me being in a bad state already. So me finding that out now, whenever I think about missing a training session, I just remind myself, look, okay, you might miss that training session and feel a little bit better in the moment, but in the long run, I'm going to have better controls of the outcomes in my life by completing that training session. For me, it was just a game changer and it just transformed everything for me. And I'd say over the last year and a half is the most consistent, motivated all the time that I've been, and I've just been in such a great groove with everything. So that's the first one, discovering your why. And if you've not done it already, go down into the description, look for the hyperlink for the 5 whys and complete the exercise. Okay, the second one, and this was very important as well. And I watched a podcast with a ex-CIA agent operative, and he talked about how you need to reframe discipline to consistency. So let me explain. So discipline is, I'm never going to miss a gym session again. I'm never going to slip up on my diet. I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do that. And we all know willpower will eventually run out. And this is why people are stuck in this all or nothing approach where they'll go 3 days or a week where they'll eat clean or healthy, they won't miss a gym session, and then as soon as they miss one, they're falling off the wagon and they just go absolutely crazy. And they're just in this kind of absolutely all in or nothing at all. And it's one of the biggest issues I see with people who are trying to get into good shape or look after their diet. Whereas really the mindset we want to adopt is, I am consistent. Because then if you miss one gym session or if you slip up on your diet, you can just get straight back to it. It's not this, I'm disciplined and now all of a sudden I'm undisciplined. It's like, well, I'm consistent. But one of the rules of being consistent and that I like to apply is that you never miss twice. So if I do have to miss a gym session, I'll reschedule it in so it's in for that next one and I do not miss it. And it's same with the diet. If I slip up with the diet a little bit, okay, that's fine, mistakes happen. But then the second time I don't, it's straight back to it. So reframing that you're not disciplined, and it's not that you have poor discipline, it's that you need to be consistent. So stop referring to things as discipline or being undisciplined, and it's consistency. Okay, number 3 needs to be plan. You need to have a plan in place. So whether that's you're going to go to the gym 4 times a week and you're going to follow 4 full body sessions and you're going to write all the programming down and complete it. It could be that you're going to do CrossFit 5 times a week and you're going to go to the gym and you're going to follow the programming and you're going to write it in. It could be with nutrition that you are going to aim for this many calories on each day, or that you are going to aim for your macro targets. But you need to have a plan in place. And a plan can be unique to you. It could be that you're going to hit 10,000 steps a day, whatever it is, but it needs to be written down and it needs to be a contract to yourself. And no, I don't mean having your signature there, but you need it written in your notes on your phone somewhere, or you need it stuck up on the wall or something. You need a plan and something that you are working towards. So why I'm saying this is I see a lot of people who say, right, well, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. They go to the gym and they're just looking online for a program to follow. They're looking on Instagram for a session to download or follow. There's no real structure or plan that they are following. So yes, while they might be doing the thing and saying they've gone to the gym 3 times a week, and for some people that might be a plan, if you really, really wanted to see results from your training, you need a solid plan in place. Number 4, and this is really, really important, and this is one of the first things I would say that often goes and why people lose motivation. And it's organisation. If you could spend 30 minutes on a Sunday planning out the following week ahead, you will have a much better success rate. I'm talking have your Google Calendar or whatever calendar you use up, plan your working hours in, plan your gym hours in, and plan your eating times in as well. I know that might sound a bit rigid and structured, and I don't stick to it 100%, but I'll have 8:30 a.m. first meal, 12 p.m. second meal, 4 p.m. third meal, and so on and so on, and just a little bit of a description in each one. And it's just scheduled every week, and I can adjust it as needs to. But on a Sunday, spending 30 minutes just organising and planning your week ahead is an absolute game changer. For me, this is the first thing where people start to lose motivation because they've not organised the week, they've not organised anything, and as soon as they miss a gym session or 2 gym sessions or something gets thrown in the calendar at work and they're not organised enough to switch things around a little bit, that's kind of where motivation dips, where we lose that momentum. And that's another thing I should say as well, is momentum. And that is what this will create. Being organised and you getting lots of wins in each week will build that momentum. Sorry, I'm diverting off a little bit here, but if you ever do have a bad week, or you miss a gym session or whatever it is, just get some quick wins in and build some momentum. Momentum is a very, very, very powerful thing when you are trying to stay motivated for something. Okay, so the 5th one is either an information gap, a mismatch of values, or a lack of skill. So there's a gap between where you currently are now to where you want to be. So one of the common ones I see is when people are following a plan or a program that's designed by somebody else and they don't understand why they're doing something, and they just find it a little bit silly. They're like, why do I need to do that? Why do I need to do this? But they've not asked the question. So the person on the other end is trying to understand why this person's not as motivated, and it's often because they're doing something that doesn't match with their values. So if you are watching this and you are being coached by somebody or you are working with somebody, please, please, please don't be afraid to ask them why they are doing something. Any good coach should be able to tell you and explain why you are doing something. Any coach should just tell you anyway how you do something and why you're doing it. Information gap, for me, that often comes from when there's too much conflicting information, where there's too many different sources and people giving opinions, where somebody's telling you to do this and then somebody's telling you to do that and somebody's telling you to do that. What I would suggest is always, if you are going to commit to something, just commit to that one thing and doing it as you are told. Question it, find out why, understand the skills and habits that you need to, but don't try to do everything at once. It's very interesting. I can often tell the people who are going to be really successful when they come into online coaching are often the ones who are just like, right, I'm going to do exactly as you say. I'm just going to take one thing on at a time. But the people who come in trying to change their entire lives and think that there's going to be this groundbreaking moment as soon as they start, they're the ones that often fall off first. I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week. I'm going to cycle to work. I'm going to start running. I'm going to start getting meal prep. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start doing that. The people who just realize and understand that we just need to do one thing at a time, slowly. Once you complete that, then move on to the next thing. They are always the most successful ones. Okay, so let me recap what I think are the 5 most important things for motivation. Firstly, if you don't have this in place, for me, this is the most important one to get in, and it is your why. And not a surface level why of you just want to look better. You need to understand really deep down why it is you want to get into good shape, why you want to be training, why you want to be dieting, whatever it is you need to do. You need to understand that why, and that is the most important one. If you get that, you are going to have motivation for life when you refer back to this. Number 2 is reframing discipline to consistency. It is not you are not disciplined or you are undisciplined. It is you are consistent. You are trying to be consistent. And if you miss a session, that is okay, but you never miss twice. So it's about being consistent, not about being disciplined, because you are either disciplined or undisciplined. Consistency, you are just consistent. And that's what you need to start saying to yourself. Number 3 is plan. So you need a good, solid plan in place. And remember, that plan is specific to you, but you need it written down somewhere, whether it's in your phone, stuck up somewhere. You need that almost as a contract to yourself. Number 4 is organization. You need to, on a Sunday, spend 30 minutes planning out the following week ahead. Planning out the following 2 weeks ahead, whatever it is you need to do, whether it's on a daily basis, you need to plan out the day ahead as well. You need to be organized, so get organized. And the final one is there will be a gap. It'll be a skill issue, it'll be a lack of knowledge, or it'll be a mismatch of values. You need to understand which one of these it is, and if you are working with a coach or Sunday, you need to question, ask why, find out, but be happy and confident in what you're doing. When you're not, that's one of the first things that will lead to losing motivation. Okay, hopefully that helped you out. If you have any other tips or things that help you out with motivation, leave them in the comments below. Let me know as well, because I'm always looking for ways to help improve my motivation as well. But over the last 1.5 years is the most consistent I've been with things, and those 5 things have helped me out massively. And I know now that when I'm a bit unmotivated or something's gone wrong, it's usually because one of these has broken down somewhere.